Hi, it's Laura again. I can't wait to show you today's antique junk journal. So this one is, I used the cover of a very early edition of the Beatrix Potter little book here, The Tale of Benjamin Bunny. I know it is super worn because it's early 1900s, and I love that about it. I love that it doesn't look new because there were so many editions of this right to modern day. And so I used some vintage crochet doily and these beautiful vintage beads that I think just match the little bunny on the cover so perfectly. So I threaded those. I've even got a little vintage safety pin there. The book is also vintage. It is from the 1940s. It had a very plain cover, so I didn't mind too much covering it up. And before I put it in my Etsy shop, I'll take you on a little tour and show you what I've got in here. And of course, you know, if you follow me, that everything in here is original. There are no commercial products and no digitals or fake products. It's all the real McCoy. So we'll give you a little taste of some of our resplendent history in the days gone by and take you down memory lane here. So here we go. On the front pocket here, I made a little cluster on that antique page. We've just got an antique photograph, and I just love it. A little cluster of friends forever. 1950s doily page here, and a 1940s children's book page. Fun little page up there. That came from the back of a little golden book from the 50s. And this here is an early 1900s perennial book page. And more really fun clusters down here. And look at this staggeringly beautiful postcard. You can see the gold gilt on there. It's embossed. It's absolutely spectacular. And it is from 1912. We've got the date here and a lovely little message on there, a little letter. Really, really special. Now this here, I can tell you, is from this book. It's the first few pages, and you can see how the original, or one of the owners over the last, almost 100 years has tried very hard to keep this book together. So here's the first page there, and then you can see that it's been very well loved. But look at that very first plate there. Isn't that just the sweetest? So I'm thrilled with it. And then I got the interior spine of the book here, and then over this is an antique music sheet. And this came from a 1960s Learn How to Watercolor book, and I just love the images, so I thought that they were fun, and whoever owns this journal can cut them up into squares and use them as mixed media, or just enjoy them, or learn how to watercolor. How about that? This is from an 1800s book, this flap here, and then this is an antique, well, almost antique stamp here from 1939. And just a little wonderful little 1933 page here, and another postcard. This one is from the 40s, and that is Stratford, England. And this is probably one of the most special things. Look at this. It's worn. It's got, of course, some wear and tear, but look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And it is from 1926, Delineator magazine. This is an ad for Heinz, but look at this beauty here, and that is for Palmolive soap. She is stunning. I really like that. And because it's the back cover, it was very sturdy, very, very sturdy. And then over here, I've got one of these great vintage index card tabs. And in this pocket here, I've got this wonderful telegraph. But it's actually not the real telegraph. It was a boy who wrote to his girlfriend using telegraph paper. So it's really kind of sweet. And I pulled that from an old box of words, teaching words, back also from about the 20s. And this, even though it's got this little tear, I just love it. It's what to put in a drawer. I wish my drawers looked like that. Not in a bajillion years. And tea towels there. I just love it. Love, love, love it. That is early 1900s. Another wonderful children's book page fold over there. And this is from a 1940s photography magazine. And I just really, really like the ads and how it talks about what the cameras were like in the 1940s. Remember those? Well, I don't remember them, but I've seen many, many pictures of them. But I kind of remember ones like that my dad had. He was a big photography buff. It's a vintage botanical page. Wonderful little flowers there. And this, of course, is another Connie Francis paper doll cut out. Somebody had a lot of fun with this one. They cut out those little holes even, which is just awesome. And that is her winter coat outfit. And then this here is a vintage Birds of America book page there. Ducks. And then that is a vintage, what are those called? Eyelets and loops, I think. And then another children's pocket over here and up here. This is from the 1890s. And I just really, look at the little ads there. Aren't they adorable? Oh boy, in a box of product there. We've got tin, home studies, and maternal love in the animal world. Like, it's just so much fun to have these things. That one is from 1895, and they're harder and harder to come by. This is just a sweet little Holly Hobby vintage from probably about exactly 50 years old. And it is a book plate. And I made that out of a vintage paper there from a music book and an antique flower and a vintage pocket dictionary page. And this is a 1950s pilot's log book page. All the places they flew from and to. Love, love, love those. That is from the Royal Air Force. Fun clusters here. This is from the 1890s. This is an old or vintage cigar band that somebody collected, and I years ago got a little tiny bag of them, and I just found them. I had stopped using them, and so I thought they're so beautiful and they're highly collectible. This is from 1956. Fun little page here, little Scotsman there, milking a cow at the farm. And I made a little pocket here with one of Stacy's Maple Grove Dairy receipts from Grand Rapids. Love it. A little antique paper butterfly here. That is beautiful antique page there. Here, there's a 1938 flinch card. I can change the number out. You can let me know at checkout, Etsy. And there is an 1890s Watchman's dial. And that would have helped them clock their hours. And there is an antique transit ticket from England. And this came from a 1960s, so it's about 65 years old, nature book. That is a butternut tree, and that is the Atlantic white cedar. And that's made out of an antique music page there. That is a vintage decoration that you would have used at a baby shower or a wedding shower. Another children's book page, antique postcard here. And then this is just a really fun 1940s children's book page. And I love the little price tag there, 99 cents from Woolco. And then a little paper in there that you can journal on. Isn't that fun? Whoopsie. There we go. And Monopoly money to journal on the back of. Another journaling piece here from a How to Play Games from the 1940s. And this is from a vintage tree book as well with antique paper on the back. That, still going, this is from little teeny tiny book here. All kinds of little prayers and things in there. And that is from an early 1900s Birds of North America book. You've got the eggs and their nests there. And then this is from 1925. Just a really fun, this little piggy went to market. Fun little images there. This is a unused recipe card, and I put this on the back of it. Isn't that fun? That is from Illinois. I love it. 1941, right during the war, the height of the war. And then this is a vintage library pocket, and it's a due date card. Neato. They're hard to come by as well. And this is from the 1940s. Look at the phone. Oh my goodness, I just love it so much. And another 1920s page here. This is a little recipe book page on pastries for pies, different pie recipes here. Apple pie, cherry pie. Now I'm hungry, oh my goodness. Early 1900s handwritten thesis page. And then this is another great 100-year-old Alice in Wonderland page with the original artist, or Tenier. And then this is from Billboard magazine, 1928. That would have been something they would have tried to sell the people who owned fairs and such, and carnivals, how to make popcorn there. And then this is a plate from the early 1900s. Look at these guys trying to round up the pigs. You can journal on the back of that. It's a really fun little page. And then I have a vintage playing card here. that you can have fun with. Look at how well aged that is. And this is a vintage French envelope. And I didn't put anything in it because I thought somebody might want to do something fun with that as well. And then I've got this 1932 Paris, France Almanac topper. And I just loved the images a lot there. So have fun making something new with that and maybe make it into a little booklet or something. Another 1930s book page and the spine of a book there, and that brings us to the end. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Please subscribe, leave me a comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe. Come back soon. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Bye for now.